Hello traders, and welcome to this demonstration or explanation of this latest and probably the last RobotFX Expert Advisor, which is Auto Recovery version 2.5. There are three small additions compared to the version 2.4. Let's see them on the chart. The changes and modification. Let's see them on the chart to understand better. First of all, before we had the buy take profit and sell take profit levels written here in the comments area. Now they are just horizontal lines on the chart, and this will allow you to better monitor your trade, your basket, your trading style. Basically, when the price will reach either of these take profit levels, and the real profit will be higher than minimum profit, then the expert advisor will start closing the open trades, or one open trade if you are lucky and you calculated your entry and the trade goes in profit. That's one new addition. Another thing that changed is the way the expert advisor deals with the aggressive hedge. By default, the expert advisor places pending sales. So no more line. It opened a buy, it placed a pending sell, an opposite pending sell at a distance that you can choose. That's the stop loss in the settings. That's basically the recovery area, the zone recovery area, however you want to call it. Now we open a buy, expert advisor places a pending sell. If the price drops down and hits this pending sell, triggers this pending sell, the expert advisor places another pending buy, and if the price goes up and triggers the pending buy, the buy stop, then the expert advisor places another sell stop down here, and so on. When triggers the sell stop, it will place another buy stop at the same distance as 50 pips away, the recovery zone area. Now, there is a chance, since we introduced the break-even from version 2.4, break-even was requested by some traders, and since we introduced the break-even, now there is a chance now when we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades, the price goes higher enough or far enough from this buys, far enough to trigger the break-even. There's also a chance that the price will drop again down enough to hit the stop loss, so it will close this buys, but not enough to drop below this buy level, so it will place a pending buy. And excuse me, by the way, one more thing, these buy levels, the recovery zones, are now written here in the comments area. It's buy level and sell level. Now, I was saying there is a chance that the price will drop enough to trigger this, to close this trade, but not enough to go under this level and place pending buy. In this case, it will open an aggressive hedge, a buy order, as soon as it can, and this can be a little higher than the original price. And when this happens, and it did now, I want you to see this. You will probably not notice this when trading, and it shouldn't bother you in your trading style whatsoever. However, we should talk about it because it happens, and you should know about it probably. The previous recovery zone was here. We have the levels from the buys and the sells, the blue and the red, where the expert advisor closed the previous trades. Here probably it dropped enough, only a little to what's the name? Only a little to close to hit the stop loss levels, and to close the buys, but not enough to go down. It made some up and down here in this period of time. The expert advisor placed a buy as soon as it could, and that happened at 1.7, for, let's say, 1.5 pip distance from the original auto recovery zone. And this is better because if the price would only hit this, close them, and not open another hedge and then reverse up, you would have maybe 1, 2, 3 open sales here, not covered by a hedge trade. So you would lose. Anyway, once the expert advisor does this aggressive hedge, this will appear in the logs somewhere. Hedge zone, aggressive buy, that's his name. Aggressive buy, it will delete the previous pending sell hedge order, the sell stop, and it will replace it at the same distance, 50 pips away from the last hedge aggressive sell. And so the sell stop is also a little higher. Basically what it did, it moved the entire zone, the entire recovery zone. This is what happens. It moves the entire recovery zone, and that happened in this scenario with 1.2, 1.4, let's say 1.5 pip. It shouldn't affect your trading style whatsoever. It shouldn't cause any money losses except maybe for cents, maybe. But anyway, we should know about it. Now, these are the latest changes, the differences between the version 2.4 of this expert advisor and 2.5 of this expert advisor. And of course, then it will continue to trade as normal. Only that now the expert, the recovery zone is a little higher. The previous open sell, which is open already, remains. We cannot close that because we'll close it in a loss. And again, we wait to see what's happening. What will happen? Will it go higher or down? If it will go higher, we are covered by this hedge buy. It did the same thing now. It went higher, dropped back, closed the buy order, and just enough, the price got just enough to close the buy order, not enough to go under the previous level and place a pending buy. Again, the expert advisor opened an aggressive buy. Now for the new traders that don't know about hedging, well, that's it. Oh, stop. That's hedging basically. You open, instead of placing a stop loss, let's say you would have opened a buy here, well, you wouldn't have because it's a bad time to buy right here. But let's say you would open a buy here, instead of placing a stop loss at the previous low or somewhere, place a pending order whose lot size will be slightly higher than or maybe double than the buy, the previous order, so that if the price drops, the profit from this second trade will cover the loss from the first trade. This is what's happening here. And you have the option to, I know it looks a little scary, but you have many options to limit this, so this will not happen. This is your enemy basically. Price bouncing within a consolidation zone. Now, no sane trader trades during consolidation zones, right? Or if you do, you will sell on top of the consolidation zone and buy at the bottom. The expert advisor by itself, if you don't know, doesn't trade by itself, doesn't open any trades by itself. It just places pending trades or aggressive hedge trades for the trades that you open by yourself. So you are responsible for your trading style and results. You have the option to limit the number of the open trades on one chart at one time. So once we have 2 buys and 5 sells and the maximum orders is 7, the expert advisor will not open any other trades. In this scenario, where you might lose or you might win. It might help you limit your losses, or maybe you will lose. Again, depends on your trading style. If you got to this, if you got to this you shouldn't have got to this basically in the first place. Manage your maximum orders, so and your initial lot size, the lot size of the first trade. So you will not reach a situation when the expert advisor opened too many trades and you are in such a negative loss already that, well, you don't know what to do. Now, once once the price reached the take profit level, which in this case was the sell take profit level, and this was a very difficult scenario what happened here in this consolidation zone. The real profit reached the minimum profit, which was set to 0.01, basically break even. The basket reached break even, and the expert advisor started to close all these trades. And this is also worth to mention, when these levels are reached, the price lower than the sell take profit, or the price higher than the buy take profit level, the expert advisor starts to close orders. It cannot close them all at once, because it's not the expert advisor that is closing them, it's the broker server. So once you are on break even, if you set this min profit to 0, this is in dollars by the way, once you are at break even, the expert advisor starts to close them. So if it closes them between closing the first trade and the seventh trade, or I don't know how many you have opened, if there will, I don't know, pass a few seconds between this time, the expert advisor might close the last trade higher than the buy take profit, which will cause you a little profit, or maybe lower than the buy take profit level, and opposite for the sell level, which will cause you a few dollars loss, right? Hope you understood how it works. Now, let's say you open a sell here. The expert advisor places, instead of a stop loss that you would have used and maybe lose money. Actually, the stop loss, you always lose money. The expert advisor places a buy stop, and the size of this buy stop again is higher than the size of the lot size of the sell. So, excuse me, if the price will go up, trigger the sell stop, the buy stop, and go up until the buy take profit level. Somewhere at this level, the profit from the buy order will be much bigger than the loss from the sell order. So the sum of these two orders, somewhere at this level, will be 0. And at that point, the expert advisor will look to close the trades. Anyway, this is what hedging is. I don't want to keep this video forever. This is what hedging is. This is how it works. Let's make a stop here and go to the settings very fast for the new traders. If anyone is interested in this, you can download a version of this for free. Well, a demo version. Let's explain the settings very fast because it's very simple and easy to use. And I think that if you struggle, if you lose money now with the stop loss, you should learn how to hedge. Actually, all the good traders know how to hedge. It's the 90% of the losing traders that don't know or never heard how to hedge, or they always mistake hedging with martingale, which is not even by far, they're not the same. Alright, so the settings: stop loss, take profit, stop loss and take profit. Stop loss, it has been explained. It's basically the distance between buys and sells, the distance between the opposite orders. By the way, you can set this to any value you want. Make sure, however, this is not hedging is not for scalping. Or if you have your own strategy that works, scalping, and you can hedge and make money, well, go ahead and do it. Although I don't think you should. But it's up to you how you use this expert advisor, and you are responsible for your gains or losses. It's all about trading style, and it's all about the first, in the end, it's all about the first entry. that you have to do it yourself. Stop loss and take profit. Mind that if this ratio is 1-on-1, let's say 50 and 50 pips, then the expert advisor will calculate the next pending order. So the lot size of that pending order will be double than with the existing orders will be double than the lot size of the other orders, the opposite orders. If you open buy 0.1, the sell stop will be 0.2, as you can see. If the sell stop got triggered, it became a sell of 0.2, and the expert advisor placed a buy of 0.3. So now, if the price will go up, we'll have 0.1 plus 0.3, which is 0.4, double than 0.2 the sell. This is how it works. The ratio between stop loss and take profit. The default is 50 to 75. Break-even is self-explanatory. You don't need to, well, let's say if the price goes in your favor for either these buys or sells, once it is at the break-even distance away, which is 50 pips by default, the expert advisor will set the stop loss at the entry price. Excuse me again. The maximum orders is the maximum number of orders at a certain time, at a specific time, at any time actually, but you allow the expert advisor to have open trades. Once this maximum numbers of orders is reached, the expert advisor will not open any other trade, regardless of the profit or the price direction. You shouldn't set this to a very high number, and all these settings, stop loss, take profit, break even, maximum order, minimum profit, close trades and make profit, you must run some testing in the strategy and on demo account a lot until you find the proper settings for your trading style, your time frame, your pair. Now, next, you have force closed at max orders. You can instruct the expert advisor to close all the open trades once it will reach max orders, the maximum numbers of orders allowed to open. But mind that if you set it to true, you will close them in loss, or not you, the expert advisor. You will lose some money. Trade comment. If you want to better monitor the trades managed by this expert advisor, use any trade comment you want. The magic number, set this to -1 to by default, or set it to any other magic number that is let's say used by any expert advisor that you use to open trades. So if you have another expert advisor that you use loaded on some other chart, of course, that you use to open trades, you can place its magic number here in the auto recovery magic number section, and the auto recovery will manage that trade, well, hedge it basically, and it will take it from there. What else? Minimum profit. That's the minimum profit. It's in dollars, by the way. 0.01 cents minimum profit when you are you want the expert advisor to start closing a basket of trades or winning trades. Close trades at minimum profit. Set it to false. It will ignore the minimum profit, or it will not close it at minimum profit, a basket of trades. Close trades at take profit, to instruct the expert advisor to close the trades once it will reach the take profit lines for sell and buys, if there is the minimum profit. The minimum profit is reached, by the way. And show comments, to show the comments on the chart. Slippage, that's also self-explanatory. The slippage is in pips, by the way. This is it. These are the new, let's say, modifications for this latest and probably the last version of this expert advisor. And these were the instructions for the new traders. If you have any other questions, you can leave a message maybe watch some other videos about this expert advisor. Also, I recommend download and try on a demo account the Fluid Expert Advisor. And I also like to remind you again that Auto Recovery Expert Advisor, this one is part of the Fluid Expert Advisor, and the Fluid can do much more, like detect the trend and enter, exit trades, detect the trend, and so on. While this expert advisor can only manage a trade opened by yourself or by another expert advisor. So this is it. If you have any other questions, use the contact page on the website, or leave a message here on the social media. We'll try to get in touch with you as soon as one of us can. Good luck trading, and bye-bye.